for the boys.
Woo! Oh, I fucked.
For ghosts who knelt before her, turned her back and left them in the corner. Embraced it, I tabled all my aces, but I can't seem to break a hat. Can't seem to break a hat. I'm anxious, it's fucking with my chances of redemption.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So it's been about a week-ish since I posted. I think it was last Saturday or whatever, last Sunday, and I was supposed to be posting up an import face-off kind of recap video, but there were some complications and I ended up only sticking around for about an hour. Long story short, I just went to the hospital because I was having breathing issues that day really bad, and for the last couple weeks prior to that. Simply put, it's basically I have asthma, and the allergies and anxiety were just making it really bad, so I got an inhaler and some anxiety crap or whatever. So that's why there was no video for that, but today I've got it pretty busy. I just went and skated, but I didn't get the chance to film while I was out there because it was kind of crowded and didn't really have anybody to film me, and I don't like setting my camera up on a tripod when there's other people there because obviously it's an expensive camera. I don't want to get knocked over or stolen. So instead, here's some older footage of me from, I don't know, 2013-ish, that my buddy filmed of me.
Alright, Chris!
Exploded your butt cheek. Safe. But so for the rest of today, I've got to replace my starter because, like I said, my starter's been having issues. So we're gonna do that, and then Pure Diamond Lights sent me some pure white LEDs, and a lot of you guys have been asking me how to install those or how to take out your cluster or yada yada yada. So I'm gonna just do that all in one video today. I already swapped out the dome light and the license plate lights because that's just a couple screws, but so we'll be doing the cluster, and then I think I'm also going to take out my glove box and try and throw in my blower assembly so that way I can get some heat. Even though it's not cold out, I'd like to have heat when I need it because the last couple mornings it's been pretty darn chilly on the way to work, so I'd rather just have it when I need it. But other than that, that's pretty much going to be the video for today, so hopefully you guys are looking forward to it. Right, so here's the starter that we're going to be working with here. I'm going to just clean it off a little bit, but that one should be good. My buddy gave it to me, and I'm hoping it's at least better than this one is. So it's such a pain to change the starters on these things. Essentially, gotta move the intake. I'm gonna have to clip those zip ties right there and move my harness out of the way a little bit. And then there's gonna be like 3 bolts and this power wire that hold the starter in place. So yeah, just make sure you disconnect your battery, your positive cable on the batteries. For me, this is my positive on the battery because this completes my circuit. So no key, no battery. Just start taking this apart. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Alright, so just going to start by taking the intake off. Pretty simple, just for me it's just this one clamp. Whole piece pops off. Alright, so for some weird reason my my power cable bolt leading to my starter is a 13, so just pop that right off, and then I'm sorry, there's actually 2 bolts that hold the starter in place. I said 3 earlier, but yeah, it's just opposite of each other diagonally. But it's just that bottom one sucks. I believe those are 14s or 15s or whatever. And yeah, once you pull the power cable off and those 2 bolts out, the whole thing just slides right out. Alright, so now that I've finally got this pain in the butt out, obviously this is the old one, this is the newer one. I already cleaned it up. Pretty much completely identical. So yeah, basically all it is this one little clip right here, this one wire, and then these 2 corner bolts here. So not very difficult. It just kind of sucks having to lean over to fetch that other bolt for so long down there. So obviously installations, reversal or removal, just resting in place. This one might be a little bit more difficult just because you got to try and get that long bolt in the bottom. So best of luck to you. Okay, so just like that, it's back in position. It's all bolted up nice and tight. So gonna go give it a crank and see if it starts up. There we go. Works like a charm. Alright, so that actually went a little bit better than I thought it was going to. I didn't honestly know if the starter was going to work because it had been sitting in the garage for a bit, but it worked, so that's good. Now I'm going to just throw my intake back on and then start ripping out this cluster. Alright, so also while I'm doing the cluster and stuff, I'm going to just throw the GoPro on for that, so that way I don't have to set the camera up in any places. You guys can just kind of see me as I'm doing it. But I'm going to take my floor mats out and try and scrub them down a little bit more because I'm using that cleaner that you guys recommended to me. So I'm gonna do that really quick so that way I can let those air dry and whatnot while I'm taking the cluster out. Okay, so I got the mats cleaned up, I think fairly well. I hosed them off after I washed them with the other stuff, so they're drying right now. I'm gonna just let them dry for a while I'm doing this, and then I'm gonna pull out the shop vac and suck up the rest of the stuff after that. So let's just hop into this cluster install or cluster removal, and I'll just hop to the GoPro footage right now. Alright, so pretty much the only tool you're actually going to need is a Phillips head screwdriver. Except for me, I need these because I have a zip tie holding my kick panel on. But first things first, before you even go inside the car, come in here, remove your air intake, and you got to disconnect your speedo cable from the transmission, which is this cable right here. Normally there's a little rubber boot and a C-clip under it. I don't have the C-clip, I just have the boot, so here it is right here. So just leave that loose so that way you can pull the cluster forward to get slack on it or whatever, and then we can go inside of here. Alright, so first things first, get this kick panel off. So simple as this for me. Normally you're gonna have a couple screws holding it in place, but like I said, I think these 2 down here, but yeah, I just had the zip tie. So just like that. Now, if you have your steering wheel, if you have a removable steering wheel, take it off, you're gonna need to. And if you don't, then pop your steering wheel off, take that center, disconnect your battery, take the centerpiece off, and then 19mm bolt right there. So assuming you're this far already, this is what you're gonna need to do. So for this stuff, this just pulls right off. So does this one. There's gonna be a little clip thingy on here that helps hold that in place. So this thing, I usually just put that back in there just so I don't lose it. And then for this piece right here, okay, you're gonna need a flathead to get these 2 pieces out, or like a knife or something. So let's grab one of those quick. Okay, so we got ourselves a flathead. So for this one, we'll start here. Just pry forward just like that. That whole piece comes up. And then for this one, basically just kind of scoot it out of the way. And voila. So now, back to your Phillips head again. basically you're gonna have the one screw right here behind that. You're gonna have 2 screws here. You're gonna have a screw from your center console going up right here, and you're gonna have another one on the other side of the column. You're gonna have 2 right here, and then it should just pull forward, and then you're gonna have to unhook or unplug all the connectors on these 6 buttons and your mirrors, and then it just pops right off. One screw there. Another screw there. Another one right there. Also guys, be careful when you're doing this because these are old cars. This is brittle plastic. So if you break stuff, it ain't my fault. You're just not careful enough. Mine's already semi-broken in spots. From when I was learning how to do this originally, I was kind of not paying attention. So you live and you learn. Those ones are kind of hidden, so it's a little difficult to find them at first. All right, so that should be all the screws. Now for this part, just be gentle. So I usually kind of like to start popping the tabs off down at the bottom here. And work your way around. I guess I forget you have to take this piece off too. Mine's just broken anyway, so I'll leave that as is. But, yep. Alright, so you made it this far. Now it makes it easier to pop these out, except for the sunroof one. That one's retarded. I don't recommend trying to do it because I've broken like 4 of them. So press all of them out that isn't the sunroof and then go for the sunroof last. So if you need to lay them out in order, I've done this 100 times and they only go in one way, so I just toss them up out of the way. So the difference with the sunroof one is it's held in. These are plastic on the top, just the one metal on the bottom. But the sunroof one, for whatever reason, has 2 metal tabs, and you'll easily break that connector if you're not gentle with it. So I prefer to just get this whole thing out in the first place, and then like move the bezel as far forward as you can, and then reach behind it. Just makes it so much easier. All right, so just like that. This is out of the way, except for me being, yep, and then there's the mirror right there. So now that that is done, pretty much all it takes. That's just my non-working anymore oil pressure gauge, so we'll just leave that alone. We'll just shove that back in there. So there you go. Now that your bezel is out, you can do what you want with it. Paint it, leave it as is, whatever you're doing with it, set it aside. So now to take the cluster out, find your Phillips, because I seem to have lost mine. Ah, it's between my legs. So, all right, now you got 2 screws here on the bottom, and then 2 more up top. So, and simple as that. Don't worry about mixing the screws up. They're all the same, so it doesn't make a difference. It's not a big deal. And I don't recommend using a drill to tighten these back up if you feel like being lazy and not doing it by hand, because again, old brittle plastic and it will probably crack on you. So now that these are out, you literally just gently wiggle it out, just like that. It'll be a little stiff because remember the cable is attached on the back side yet. So just give it a firm little tug. So easiest thing to do is just reach behind it. It'll be on the right side, and just disconnect the speedo cable. Just like that. And then you got, depending on your cluster, like 2 or 3 clips back here. So 1, 2, and I think there's a 3rd one up there too. Yeah, and 3. So just like that. Here's your speedo cable. So like I said, just give it a little, just unhook it from in there because it makes it so much easier. Just get a little bit of slack. And then there you go. There's your 3 clips for your cluster. And just like that, your cluster is out. So let's take it over to the workbench here, and we'll get this taken apart, and we'll start swapping out the bulbs on it. All right, so right away, there's an obvious difference in the size of these LEDs and these LEDs. So you can clearly tell which ones you're supposed to go in what. So I recommend using his little tabs right here. So it's literally just as simple as grabbing an LED and slipping it right into the slot, just like that, and then reinstalling it. So you're gonna have one right there, and then this one right here, that's gonna light up the whole front of it. You're gonna have these 2 right here, so that makes 5, and then you're gonna have the 2 big ones here, and then there's one under here, and then you're gonna save 3 of them for the climate control. So 3 of the little bulbs are for the climate control. So the rest of them you can pretty much just kind of put wherever you want. They don't really have to go anywhere. But yeah, the main ones are gonna be these 2 right here, this one, these 2, and those 2 big ones. So yeah, do that. Installation back in the car is obviously the exact opposite of removal. It's really easy. I'm not gonna film that. You already took it out. You should know how to put it back together now. It all slides right back into place. Just remember to hook up your speedometer cable and put it back in the transmission as well. So let's get this back in the car really quick. Note to self for you guys that LEDs are kind of tricky sometimes. So if they don't work once you plug it all in, don't put everything together. Just plug in your clips and everything and put your hazard switch in, because without your hazard switch on, your blinkers won't work. But if the bulbs aren't working right away, pull them out and flip them 180 degrees. That's usually the trick to get them to work. I had that mistake when I very first put my blue ones in, and Pure Diamond Lights was cool about it, and he just simply told me, just flip it 180, and what do you know, it worked. So if you're having issues with that, try that first before you freak out. Alright, so to do the climate control, there's only 3 bulbs, like I said. It's pretty simple, except for I just feel really stupid because I've been trying to change out these bulbs for a couple years now, since I've been messing with DAs, and I've never been able to figure out how to get this out because, as you can see, this piece is blocked. I had the dash on, I couldn't figure this out, but it's literally as simple as this. You see these, it's got these little tabs on here. There's like 7 tabs. There's 4 on top, 3 on the bottom. So the top ones you can literally just pry with your finger just like that, but the bottom ones, just use a little hook like this and then just reach under and just pry them up, and bam, you got that. So just reach in there with just very carefully, or some needle nose, and be gentle with it. Pull the bulbs out, and then you got the one right there. So 1 bulb there, 1 bulb there, 1 bulb there. Put it all back together, put your cluster back in, and try it all out. So like I said, mine's actually having some issues because it's not wanting to light up part of it, I think. I can't tell because it's obviously really bright outside. So we'll wait a little bit later and see how it looks. Alright, so I'm on my way to the dealership right now, and I just noticed that my my check engine light is still illuminated for whatever reason. I noticed it was at the house, but it's not a code because I already scanned for a code, but I think one of the LEDs, it could have like a hotspot or something on that part of my motherboard or circuit board or whatever, so it's just staying illuminated. It kind of did that a little bit before. I think that's why I stopped using the cluster. So I'm gonna have to take this all apart and take that bulb out and swap it out with a regular one, I think. Alright, well, I just got down here at the dealership, got that taken care of. So now I gotta get gas, and then I gotta head all the way back to the house, because there's still a few other things that I plan on doing to the car today. I don't know if I'm gonna film it, because I'm gonna just kind of clean out the interior some more, and I gotta take this cluster out again and swap bulbs and double check that my speedo cable's in all the way, because it's showing my speed, but it kind of seems a little delayed. So maybe my check engine light's because my cable's not hooked all the way in. But I'll find it out. Come on! Alright, so I just vacuumed off the floor mats. The edges are still kind of damp, so I'm going to just leave them out to dry for the night. So I got the check engine light thingy fixed. It was just the LED acting up, so I put a regular bulb in it, and it's all good now. Everything's already put back together, and I'm beat after skating for like 2-3 hours this morning, and then messing with this thing all day. I'm pretty tired. It's been a long day. It's already like 5:30 maybe. I didn't have time to get to the blower motor today. I mean, I could do it right now, but it's seriously just so tedious. I really just don't feel like taking the passenger seat out, crawling up under the dash. But I think I'm going to wrap this video up right here, so that way it's not too long, and so I can kind of stick to the theme of just installing the starter and the cluster stuff. So if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, be sure to comment something down below, be sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel. I do a lot of car stuff. I try to do as much skateboarding stuff as possible when I have the assistance of filming. I do just regular vlogging, it's kind of a mix of it all, if you can already tell. So yeah, slap a thumbs up for the K20A2 swap. It's so close. But other than that, guys, like I said, I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see what we got in store tomorrow. Anyway, guys, see you for the next one. End this video out really quick. I know that I just outroed it, but I just want to show you now that it's nighttime what these all look like. So here is the license plate lights, super bright, which is good because I had a license plate light out before. And here we go. Here's the dash lights. Map lights. Dome light. So all looks super fresh, so I'm really stoked on it. So again, shout out to Pure Diamond Lights. All right guys, take it easy.